Welcome to The Fire Within. My name is Joel Young, your host, and for the next 13 weeks, I'm inviting you on an exciting information-packed ride to visit some of the Okanagan's true entrepreneurial spirits and learn of their journey from the original idea to the launch of their entrepreneurial dream. This evening, we're inviting our first guest to join us. Sitting with me this evening is Kiley Routley, the founder and owner of Back to Earth Enviro Products from the small hamlet of Coldstream just outside of Vernon. Good evening and thank you for coming, Kiley.
Thank you, Joel. It's a pleasure to be here.
Can you tell our viewing audience a little bit about Back to Earth?
Absolutely. Back to Earth started in the kitchen. Started there 8 years ago with an idea to start making bar soaps and natural cleaning products. I had done quite a bit of research in the pollutions we were bringing into our home through cleaning products and what we were putting on our bodies. So after doing that research, I was somewhat frightened and I decided to make as natural a product as I possibly could. Started in the kitchen, and then we started with 8 products at local farmers market in Vernon.
And it has been in effect, your business has been in effect for how many years now?
For 8 years now.
And I'm cheating, I have to tell the viewers I'm cheating a little bit because I met Kiley approximately a couple of years ago when I did an article on her business in my newspaper column with the Kelowna Capital News. But over the last couple of years, I've learned that your product line has expanded to over 54 products. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So we went from the kitchen to a little shop in our garage. We soon blew out of that. People were coming to the house. And I very soon realized that we needed to have a front-end store where one could reuse their bottles. So it would cut down the use of single-use packaging and also have a larger factory space. So, you know, I approached a couple that I knew that owned a retail slash commercial residential property.
Yep.
And not really sure how I was going to do it. I approached them and said, if you ever want to sell that property, please call me first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and lo and behold, at the most perfect time, they approached me. And we were able to move out into a farm gate space where I was able to build our factory and have a little front-end store. So that's where we are.
What I'm interested in too also, Kiley, is what attracted you to this industry as opposed to others where you may have also had background and experience?
Right. Yeah, well, you know, I got a visual arts diploma. And was on my way to Emily Carr, and life kind of just turned for me, and I did not end up doing that, and I got married and had children and bought a house and a dog and all that, and I was blessed to stay at home with my family, but it got to the point where I wanted to contribute financially to our family as well. I really didn't know what I wanted to do, to be honest. I had tried a few things, and looking back now, it's interesting how your experiences in life can help you with
exactly.
with your final decisions.
Yeah. That happens to many entrepreneurs, I've discovered.
Yeah.
Whether it's through your employment or you're just simply your personal interests, and then for a variety of circumstantial changes, the whole entrepreneurial attitude and behavior seems to evolve from that. Thinking, acting, and behaving entrepreneurially. The viewing audience should know that the 2 key cornerstones for entrepreneurship, ladies and gentlemen, are innovation and creativity. And I can tell you, before we finish visiting with Kiley today, you'll recognize clearly her innovation. I'm interested to learn how you move from the idea that you've already described to our viewers to the opportunity which now has evolved to be Back to Earth Enviro Products.
Well, there was a situation when I was searching in really what I wanted to do, and I met a woman. She was a local herbalist, and I went on my very first plant walk, and instantly I had finally felt that fire within.
Oh my.
Yeah,
My.
and I knew at that point that I would be seeing this woman again, and I would be working under her,
Mhm.
and that is exactly what I did. So I did a lot of studies in becoming a herbalist,
Yep.
aromatherapist, and I just, like I said, I started in the kitchen. When I was a little girl, I would collect rose petals and make perfumes out of them. So ironically
Mhm.
enough, I do collect indigenous plants from
Yeah.
the valley.
Yep.
We make oils out of them, and those oils is what goes into our products. So now we've got 54 products. We've got a personal care line, a baby line. We've got a face care line, a variety of 10 different soaps. We're making herbal remedies with indigenous plants
Oh,
and
for heaven's sakes, yeah.
well-crafted teas. Yeah.
And cleaning products.
And cleaning products,
And
thank
cleaning
you.
products.
Yeah,
You're
which is
welcome.
what we started with.
I've been to your place.
Yeah.
What are the obstacles and constraints that you had to undergo while you were moving from this wonderful little handful of ideas that you started with to when you officially opened your door, and then now evolved to the storefront that you have today in the Coldstream area?
Well, other than, I would say, capital to start a company and a business and everything that involves, I would say that self-doubt was something that I struggled a little bit with, and I would think that a lot of entrepreneurs most likely do, but my advice to anybody thinking about starting a company is find that passion and run with it, and don't listen to that little voice in the head that may tell you that, you know, it's not a good idea or it's too risky.
What are some of the triumphant moments that you experienced, and perhaps some of the worst moments that you have experienced as an entrepreneur in the Okanagan Valley?
I would say that one of the triumphant moments for us was when we were able to move from the kitchen, from our home, into a retail space, but doing so in small steps. Some of the tougher times would be the juggle. In business, you get to that crossroads. And as a sole proprietor running a business that was getting busier and busier and busier, also being a mom of 3, and doing that juggle. So it's finding that balance within.
Your thoughts on starting and becoming an entrepreneur, that whole process.
Well,
Can you just share that? I mean, you've touched on some of it, but can you just share the thought processes that you had to go through from this whole realm of ideas that commenced from the time that you were a young girl?
yeah, well, it
I mean,
started.
you're the true epitome of a person who has developed interests from a very early age, and you didn't let go of it. You carried them through for.
I'd say it's listening to that passion within too. I mean, I can honestly say that when the idea comes to you and you feel that energy where you can't think of anything else, and you're so excited you can't, you know, get those herbs fast enough, you can't harvest them, you can't make that product, you can't be in that factory or get the idea and the names. I can tell you that I'd put the kids down and I'd be on that computer, and it was everything from the conception of the name of the product to the blends, the synergy blends that would be added to the products. I almost look at the products as my children. I can say, oh, that product was super stubborn, you know, and I couldn't get the, preservative quite right on that one, and this one just sort of fell into place, or this, you know, worked out nicely. This one, you know, we had to revisit. But my parents are entrepreneurs, and I grew up as since I was born and brought home to a golf course, and my parents ran a golf course. And so I've only known entrepreneurs. So once you have that kind of the bug of an entrepreneur, it's hard to kick.
I understand you have some exciting news to share with our viewing audience tonight. Excuse me. C'est la vie. I understand you have some exciting news to share with our viewers.
We've
Please.
got some fantastic news. I almost feel like I've got a tiger by the tail. I'm just trying to hold on right now. So what we're doing is we're establishing a team, a fantastic team, everybody from a great private banker to fantastic employees, to a good lawyer, to a business coach. And what we're doing is we're solidly moving forward, and with our new product called Weeds and Seeds.
Oh, did you bring an example of it today to show us?
I did. It's the latest and greatest product. It's a raw cereal. It's made up of raw seeds, so everything from your hemp seeds, buckwheat, chia. We've got coconut and plantain and dandelion, cinnamon, and black currants. So it's fantastic.
Chock full of health.
Yeah, it is. It's
Chock
just
full
an
of-
addition. You'd add 2 tablespoons to your yogurt or your salad or shakes. And it has loads of protein. It's high in fiber, great for your omega-3s and 9s. And it's an addition. So we've now got this product in about 15 Save-On Foods in the Lower Mainland, here in Kelowna,
Terrific.
Vernon, Nelson, and a few others, and gradually growing.
So I want to go back for a moment because you may have touched on it and it didn't register. How many years have you had Back to Earth operating?
For 8 years now.
For 8 years,
Yes.
okay. And when you tell me of your new stories and the products, it's making me feel, and I want the audience to hear that, it's making me feel that you're really, for want of a better term, coming of age with the company, because it's starting to really spread itself into the marketplace.
Yeah, that's correct.
Maybe in areas that you hadn't originally planned or thought of.
Right, yeah,
I mean, 16 stores in the west coast of British Columbia is pretty exciting.
Yeah, we feel very blessed, really, and I didn't have a clue that it was going to just want to take off like this. So, establishing a good team is really important.
Yep, it is.
And
May I respectfully suggest you read my column in the Kelowna Capital News tomorrow,
right, okay.
because I wrote on entrepreneurial teams.
Oh, perfect.
How about that for fluke?
Yeah. Oh, good. I absolutely will do that.
Okay. I'm interested in you talking about the future and the market focus of Back to Earth. You've touched on it a little bit, but maybe you could share with our viewers how you see the future unfolding for Back to Earth as it exists today with its 54 products, and what else may be waiting in the wings, for want of a better term, for you and your company.
Right. Well, I see staying local. I've always supported local. The plants come from our valley. We are supporting a great number more of jobs now, so we're looking to hire. And I'd like to just keep it local, but also be as transparent as we always have been. I think that's one of the reasons why I've stayed in business, is people want transparency.
I agree with that.
One thing that I can honestly say too is that the competition that I've experienced has been a really good experience, and I would also like to
That's good.
share that with other entrepreneurs, that competition can put that fire within and keep you accountable.
Can fan the flames.
Absolutely. And keeps you on top of your game, really. Right? So
I've had the good fortune to live in many of the provinces in Canada in my adult life. And living now in the Okanagan for 7 years, I'm quite amazed with the amount of entrepreneurs that I've met in this Okanagan region. It absolutely is overwhelming. People such as yourself who've chosen certain paths in their lives, and somehow, meant to be comes to my mind. And people have, through a change in circumstance, have become the people and the entrepreneurs that at some point in their life they dreamed of being. Like it happens. We talk about the technology community we have in the Okanagan. I'm sure that 10, 15 years ago, nobody thought it would ever play out that we'd be talking about a technology center for the Okanagan region of British Columbia, but that's happening. We're getting close to wrapping up our little visit today, and I'd like to ask you a final question. Can you give our viewers some advice, some thought about to aspiring entrepreneurs, those people out in our audience who've been thinking about and nursing the idea of an idea that may become a self-employment journey for them?
Absolutely.
Excuse me.
I think the first thing I would want to say is it's a lot of hard work, but anything great is usually hard work. And to just keep that passion, keep that belief, know your company, know your business inside and out. You know, take the business classes, know how to do your own books, know your market evaluations, know who your competitors are, do a great business plan and do it well, and be proud of what you do, be transparent, and I would also say be hungry, because that passion will come out in everything that you do.
And people will take note of it. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. I look forward to coming up and visiting you at your retail outlet once again in Coldstream, and best of luck in the future.
Thank you, Joel.
Thank you for.
We'll look forward to having you.
Bye. Welcome back for the second part of our show this evening. I'd like to welcome Andrea Lindell, who is the Vice Chair of Marketing for the Okanagan Valley Entrepreneur Society and a member of the conference committee for the second annual Okanagan Valley Entrepreneurship Conference. Andrea, thank you for sharing with us tonight, visiting, and we'd like to hear of the news about this conference. We know that the first conference was last November, and most reports are telling us that it was considered to be fairly successful for a day and a half or a day and an evening event.
That's right.
Could you elaborate for the second conference for us?
I sure can, Joel. Thanks so much for having me here. So this is our second annual conference. It's following the Global Entrepreneurship Week theme, which is Unleashing Ideas. So the idea behind it is building the entrepreneurship culture in the Okanagan, which is what Okanagan Valley Entrepreneur Society is really all about. So it's pretty exciting to be going into a second year with this event, which is scheduled for November 21st in the evening, which should be pretty exciting. Some networking with hopefully up to 150 guests, some hors d'oeuvres, a couple of beverages. The who's who of the community, I think, will be there.
I think so too.
So I'm pretty excited to be there and really get some networking done.
It worked pretty good last year. We intentionally wanted to have an evening networking event coupled with a one-day conference, primarily to test the Okanagan market, the Okanagan Valley, to see how an entrepreneurship conference would be received. Well, we had a very good roster of speakers last year, and the attendance of the approximately 150, 160 registered, it was quite well received.
Yes.
The networking showcase, we had 15 display tables, if you will, from the cross-section of industry, business, education, and it all worked out quite well. So we're trying to dovetail that, are we not, into this second annual conference.
That's right.
I think in the future, if we can keep some momentum going in the future, we can enlarge the conference to 2 full days.
I would agree. I think that the Valley holds a lot of entrepreneurs. I think we're pretty strong in that area. The conference was well received last year. This year we plan on it being even more so. And I agree. I think in years to come it could be a full 2-day presentations, workshops, the networking. Friday the 22nd is where we will have presentations
Yes, exactly.
from many of the local professionals. speaking on topics such as marketing, coaching, finance, and other business development topics.
I counted. I think I saw on the program which you have in your hand. I think I counted approximately 12 speakers.
You know, I didn't count them.
I did.
You did.
I did.
Well, we do have Dan Zaleski as our keynote speaker this year.
Yep.
So we're pretty excited about having him.
A former world champion martial arts expert.
He is, and you know, I've had the privilege of meeting him, and he's actually a very nice man. He's a hands-on, let's get it done type of guy.
Very
which
much so, yeah.
I personally really like that.
Yeah.
And so he's going to be talking about how success is not a mystery. It's a system.
Yep.
So I'm pretty excited to hear him speak.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then we also will have Jason Neal speaking on the fear of business.
Yeah, Jason Neal was, for our viewing audience, for those of you who don't know, Jason Neal was to the best of my recollection, the first Chief Executive Officer, CEO of Accelerate Okanagan, otherwise known as the Kelowna Innovation Center. And Jason is a true textbook serial entrepreneur,
Yes.
An entrepreneurial immigrant from United Kingdom. And what's even more amusing, ladies and gentlemen, is Jason was in Ottawa the same time I was, in the same location, and we never met. Yeah, he was working in a telecommunication area just outside the city of Ottawa, and I was doing studies in that same location.
Yeah.
And the only way we knew that is when we sat over a cup of coffee and reminisced and discovered we were there at the same time. Well, thank you very much for coming tonight and giving us a little blurb on the conference. I'm looking forward to hearing more about the conference as we get closer and closer to the event. Look forward to seeing you. Thank you.
Can I just plug the website really quickly?
Yes, please. Thank you. That's my oversight. Please do.
So the two websites primarily are OkanaganEntrepreneurs.ca,
Yep.
which is the Okanagan Valley Entrepreneur Society
Yep.
website, and then it's also UnleashingIdeas.ca to get directly to the conference.